Okay, okay, okay. I'm gonna watch back in this video in a long time, coming back to it. But let me go and talk about some things. There's some things regarding the lies gonna framework. Basically, this is my notes. So it's gonna be a very short video, but you know, cover some certain things. Um, I'm gonna have to innovate properly. Because it is kind of like what I have to do. So, what do I mean? What do I mean? So, I'm speaking about the light gunner framework and designing stuff because I'm gonna try to remember that analogy. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like literally, doesn't matter if it's a canine or a chihuahua. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And there is some kind of truth to that, because the old dog is the kind of a legend to give, but in kind of the military doctrine, it kind of applies. So by the time I turned 30, I always plan stuff out. I should be in Nigeria, definitely in Nigeria, but the doctrine of okay, the non-colonial doctrine of the Laguna framework has to exist. And what I really see is I have to like have a suit, like a Laguna suit. So the Laguna suit is gonna have armor protection, Kevlar, to protect us from old tricks. So, but the goal is always just journal, so ontological journal. So it's gonna help you journal the world around you as you battle through it. That's the idea. So doesn't matter if it's an old suit, it can always evolve. The suit can evolve. So like the suit evolves with you because it's documented first. Like it's priority verification, and that is like when I have a journal, like me having this journal on my phone, like right now I'm making this video, I'm journaling around me, like around the world I do. So the Lighting framework has to incorporate this heavily, like journal. So you're gonna have a body cam, you're gonna have a dash cam, a body cam on the Laguna suit. You're going to have a lot of like observation, like police body cam. You have already police that go in the UK, but it's gonna be protective, very protective because of the Biafran War. But the goal is to build about the Biafran War, and based on the SIGI verification clause, basically anything happening in Biafran War, basically it doesn't matter how much people are dying in the world. It doesn't matter how much people are getting stabbed or killed, because then if they don't do something about their own death, like Anne Frank that camped in a basement or an attic, then she's doing something about the war. She's journaling. So the journaling is very important to understand that it's like it saves your life. It saves your life. I won't say save your life. I will say it has to be incorporated heavily, because journaling tells you that this is how we relate to the world, this is how you die. Because if I'm battling right now, basically as a song becomes a part of a platoon of the Laguna framework, basically a platoon is 15. Basically, got the light machine gun, the doctrine of the light of the heavy machine gun. There are four heavy machine guns, and they are is it 15 or 30 soldiers? Yes, there are four basically. In the U.S. Army's diary, there are four heavy machine guns and 15 in the platoon. And when someone dies, you have to do some kind of a roll, and then to keep the machine gun from firing. But that's in the German one. So basically, but they added a new machine gun. So basically, it's still 15 people, but it's five heavy machine guns. So it kind of like, because now it's CQB based. I have to design the whole extra machine gun because the doctrine, you have an extra machine gun. So a heavy machine gun that was in the basically. I'm saying this very poorly. So it's kind of like the journal is gonna if you drop a journal, like if you die, you have a diary. We know why you died. We know why someone died in an environment. Not that people should dying. I'm saying that if you have a journal, you drop there, we have evidence, have evidence of this death. And this is what's prevented. But it makes people, it makes you understand that this is what's gonna kill you in the future. I don't like the term I'm using to describe this, but for me, it's about having a journal that a diary entries every day that you video, you vlog, you review, and you mitigate threats in the real world as you approach enemy territory. It's like I basically you got things like the military doctor, basically the light point man, wingman, and light gunner, or point man, wingman, heavy gunner. Um, it's literally what I'm trying to build into a formal doctrine. But I have to keep the concept, I have to evolve it, So if I make 15 a platoon, 15 a platoon, then who's gonna be 15 people? Platoon. Then I have to go to build the platoon, and build the armor based on the Biafran War. Because if I don't build on the Biafran War, the kind of wars around the world, because the Biafran could have won the war, but basically you have to go and research the war, the Biafran War and Nigerian Biafran War, and build the Ligona framework around that. And that's the idea there. It's something that has to be remembered and etched into the blood, sweat, and tears of anyone that's a light gunner, because that is our history as a Biafrans. As Igbo people, because not the UK give me nothing. I haven't got a house in the UK, so how much can I say British? This is my life I go detain. It doesn't matter to me actually, but I really filed my lawsuit in the because of human rights, and it shows that there's evidence too, there's accountability too, because you can't if the someone's recording and you can read, it doesn't matter the device. It's gonna be hard to build. So I'm calling it a doctrine, the Lycana framework doctrine. Point man wing, but I have to study more CQB, which I'm doing very poorly. I have to start acting out my own CQB because I don't need a gum. Yeah, yeah, that's it. And because my brain is wired differently. My business is not failing me. I'm just behind. So by the time I'm 30, and my website should be up, people should be buying something. Interacting with me. I should stop using AI. But I should definitely get a house. Get a house. Because of my rights, the house rights are free. So I have to do some research too. Yeah, yeah. So it's about like one more thing. So basically, as someone gets older, they don't lose experience. They know more. They know more, and by knowing more, they know how to do kind of new tricks, old tricks. So you don't have to learn them. Whether by learning new tricks or because that's the idea. You have a journal. It's your journal. It's your video. So, for example, you have a body cam. Let's start again. Let me continue again. So you have a chest cam, a body cam. You have a body cam built into the suit. You have something to do with tall grass. So people can actually because the more people learn from the environment, that someone who, by journaling every day about their life, you have a digital tablet, you're gonna have something that's a journal, you're gonna have something you can review. Something you can review to make sure that you live another day. You know what I'm saying? That's the idea. Because the Biafran War was very bad. You know what I'm saying? It was very bad for the Biafrans, and I see, a lot of people, everybody involved in it. But the idea is I'm trying to do something about this kind of a suit, the light gunner suit. What are you gonna wear? What are you gonna wear? Night dark, night vision goggles, all of that. You're gonna have all of that. Just make sure you are, designed from the principles of ontology. Philosophical ontology and the telemetry ontology, So at least you can compete with the British, British SAS or something like that. But technical defense assembly, because you go the SAS has a nice ring to it. You're gonna have something that have a nice ring to it too. But it's gonna be anti-colonial. It's gonna be from insipid principles, insipidity. Like I wouldn't name it now because I can't just start naming stuff without research. Okay, so let me start thinking of names actually. Let me think about it. So we've got Muko, the spirits of evil that connects us to them all. Anti-colonial name from Insibidi. Verb Insibidi, Bullock Scientist. I can't remember the CBD principles, but after design, I have to find CBD a bit more because that's where my ideas came from in CBD. Let me just start the video.